Stop.
That was real bad.
Walking. You saw John Force's car comes down here with just the motor, and there is where the seat is, back in behind the wheel. Safety crew is there. His wife watches on from the start line. They're trying to get that car around to where they can get to John and hopefully get him out of that car.
Those cars are made to break apart at a hard impact right at the motor plate where it did, but still, that's a hard impact.
Something happened in John's car. It went away, broke, came over into the other lane. Then the two cars got together. The broken front end of John's car continued all the way down the track, bouncing against the wall, and this part stopped right here.
Safety folks in at the far end of the quarter mile will pass along to you as soon as we get.
This is frightening.
Our vantage point is down directly behind the race.
You hate to see that, I mean, especially all that damage. All we know is John's okay.
And the one thing I don't see, Mike, is I don't see a lot of real concern from the medical type tour right there. It seems to be more concern of how you get them out of the car. Ashley Forrest has just arrived on the scene.
We can see Candy's car.
Crowd continues to watch. Lori watches from the start line. Ashley got in a golf cart right away and came down here. Of course, there are some crew members there as well who know the car better, of course, than anybody.
They could maybe try to get the belts off of John to get him out of the car.
And the word did just go out to fire up the emergency evacuation helicopter, but still we have no indication at all as to John Force's condition. He is still strapped into the seat, underneath the roll hoop of that car. It broke away from the front end and the engine. Ashley is staying over here in the golf cart.
There she goes, Dad.
Get out of the race car.
Ashley Forrest.
Now she starts moving over toward the wall, but he's being a little protective of her. Like you say, Mike, part of the design is to get it to break, get rid of some of that energy. So in this case, that's what we hope has happened.
He is, I mean, and the other thing is, though, I mean, it was a hard enough impact to break it, so I mean, that's a scary thing in itself, because even though, like you said, on a hard impact, they're supposed to break away, let the engine go one way, still, I mean, it's still got to be a pretty hard impact to do that.
Think of the things that have happened to this team this year. The death in Florida of Eric Medlin. Now this appears to be a very serious accident. Gary Gerald?
Oh, we just talked with Dan Brickey, who is the medical director from NHRA. He is on the phone. They are firing up the helicopter. He said John is conscious. He has injuries to his lower extremities. They will fly him to a nearby hospital for further emergency treatment.
Saw John Medlin. You can imagine how his heart is beating. Conscious, injuries to the lower extremity. Dan Brickey is now talking to Ashley. That's Dan with the sunglasses on the left. Directs the medical operations. Giving her the rundown is the family representative right here on the scene. Everybody else stayed up at the line and saw Robert Height standing alongside of John Medlin. Family really comes together. You see the chaplain from Racer's Price right there. And they're getting information back here. It's not as if those on the starting line don't know what's going on there. There's plenty of communication going back and forth. And certainly not any more crowd is needed up at the accident site. Jimmy Crock talking to Robert Height, and Kenny Bernstein is okay. They're going to pull that car back. Kenny Bernstein, the other car in that incident, and really the victim of whatever happened on John Force's car. Well, Mike, while we wait for further word, let's go back and see what we can find out about this run. Watch the car on the right.
Well, and the car on the left will fly over the other side. I'm not positive that possibly something in the timing lights could have went over there, could have cut a tire on John's car. I mean, obviously that's just speculation, but you did see the pieces come over there. So, I mean, Kenny Bernstein was disqualified from the race when he hit those blocks, giving the win to John. But then, obviously, the problems set in thereafter. Let's take another look at it. Kenny had the whole shot off of the starting line, had a good run, but look at things start moving around. It drifts over. Once you get out of the groove here, it's a wild ride. It's really hard, a handful here at Texas Motorplex on the other end of that concrete. When it starts to slip, when you get it out of the groove, it really gets loose, and you really got to do some driving. Right there, you see the car come over. Wow, that's
Looked like something started to disintegrate in the right rear of John's car. After I didn't see the block that's that critically involved in it, but it may have been, as you said, Mike.
Well, I mean, it could possibly have been pieces that went over there and cut the tire. We don't know at this point. Let's take another look at it. I mean, John's got his car pretty much stuck in the groove, but it's not moving around too much on the other end. At this point, Kenny's ahead. He can probably see him. I don't know if Kenny was far enough ahead that he probably didn't see him. He wasn't that far ahead. Usually got to be more about a car length out, but then you see the right rear go on the car, and then that just drove the car over into Kenny's lane.
And with Kenny Bernstein crossing the center line, John Force, the car stayed in his lane, would come out as the winner of this, but then of course the car breaking in half after that disintegration, right, and John Force, they say,
at the same time, wasn't it?
But has injuries to his lower extremities. So we'll wait until we hear some more definitive and accurate information to see exactly how John Force is after this horrifying accident with Kenny Bernstein. Two great masters of the sport slamming together against the wall in Dallas.
The parachutes pulled the car apart. I mean, it was already broke, and then when the chute went out, it separated the car. I thought it was the impact with the wall.
So we wait for information in Dallas, and let's say a prayer for both.